Okay, I'm gonna begin with the questions related from part one. Before that, I'm gonna give you the introductions of IELTS, especially for speaking. In your part one, you're gonna have your general topic, and you're gonna have part two and part three session, and all of them will have around 10 or even 15 minutes. Hopefully that you are ready because I'm gonna begin soon. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. My first question. How often do you do household chores?
It's I think basically every single day I did household chores since we only have one helper in this house, and then particularly right now because it's so hard to have to add more helper now, so I have to like my mom like divide the household for their three children because we all now have a very much I can say laser time. I'm the one who is doing the dishes, for example, and my sister doing the laundry, yeah, and stuff like that. Mhm.
Okay, so do you think being hygienic is important?
Yes, is it? Because I'm personally doesn't I can't stand when places or environment is dirty, and I have the urge to clean everything, especially when I was when I stayed in dormitory, for example, because there's no helper and I have to clean it by myself. I almost clean like every single day because I like it to be clean. Mhm.
Okay, so do you think people have a standard of doing household chores?
Yes, of course. For example, my mom, she is a very clean freak, I can say, because if I clean almost every single day, she's also doing it, but maybe in a day she can try to clean house for like 2 times a day, and it's crazy because I can say she might get a diagnosis of OCD if she get to a psychiatrist, because she's really like to have everything clean, and her standard of this hygiene is really high. Even she told me that my room is messy, even though I thought it is clean because I have also a high standard, but her standard is the whole new level, I can say. Mhm.
Okay, so what kinds of household chores do you prefer doing?
I actually like doing laundry because I just need to put the laundry in the washing machine. It is so easy for me, and I hate to do ironing. So just washing the laundry is fine for me, and we kind of have, I can say, we don't really use sunlight to dry our clothes. We use a dryer, so it just need to put to the machine. But ironing is hard and it's need a lot of energy, so I hate it. So my favorite one is doing laundry.
Okay, let's move to another topic. How often do you meet with your family?
Uh, so basically now I live with them. So I met them every single day, and yeah, maybe my sister and I'm just graduate from a university in Bandung, so I have to move back to my parents' house. But my sister, she stays in Jogja, so not a full member, but I can say for my parents and my youngest sister, I met them every single day, every single day.
Okay, so are you close to all your family members?
Yes, I'm really close with them, especially my sisters. We can talk anything about any stuff, like maybe boys or food or gossiping about artists. We can have we share similar interests also. So that is and the age gap between us is not that big. I can say that is why we are really close. Yeah.
So how has your family influenced you?
Yeah, sorry, can you repeat the question?
Okay, so how has your family influenced you?
I can say my family has a big influence in every single choices I've made so far. Because for example, my mom and my dad, they kind of actually give us the freedom to choose anything, but they still guide us to like, for example, doing the pros and cons in one situation. So they kind of influence me, but not force me to be what, like, for example, the typical Asian parents, they want their children to be specific like what they wanted. So but that's not the case with my parents. They kind of give me the freedom to do anything, but they still influence me to do, like, guide me to get the best choices.
Okay, so another new topic. The first question is, how do you celebrate New Year?
Well, most of the time we want to, I can say we wanted another country, because my dad really likes to spend like Christmas until New Year in new places, because they have like different tradition in Indonesia, like for maybe America and another country. But when it comes to Indonesia, we just stay at home or staying late or watching movies together in home. I can say that there's nothing special, but that is why I can say my dad wants the whole family to um travel abroad when it comes to New Year. New Year, yes.
Okay, well, do you have any summer ceremonies to celebrate the New Year, especially in your country?
Oh, I really, for, I think in general, yeah, Indonesian have like they love to do like fireworks, and then yeah, gather around the family. But for my family, we don't really do everything's what Indonesian do when it comes to New Year, especially when in our country. So like I said before, we just stay at home and watching movies, or order delivery like McDonald's, or yeah, any restaurant that open 24 hours. Yeah, but for Indonesian, when we talk Indonesian, they love to light the fireworks and gather around, I don't know, friends, families, I can say, or go to Jakarta. I guess they have like the event for specifically the New Year event.
My last question, why do you think, or why do people think that New Year is a new beginning?
Well, it's kind of like this stigma, I guess, stigma around the society, which like it's a new chapter, and you can put a lot of target or goals you want to make ahead the year, but and it's like open a new page in this book called life, I can say. So that is why people like to I can say romanticizing the new year event, and say that uh yeah, I just open a new chapter of my life, so I have to be prepared and make goals and stuff like that.
Thank you very much. That's the end of our part 1. And now let's move to our part 2. In this part 2, you're going to be given 1 or 2 minutes to talk about the topic that we would like to give you. And also, we would like to give you 1 minute preparation. And also, if you wish for a note, we will give you a note. So, do you wish for a note?
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully that you prepare a pen there and
Yes.
also a note. Have you?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. So, I'm going to share the screen then. Okay, by the time you have seen this, you will have 1 minute preparation and you might start now. Please stop doing anything. So you may have your time and you might begin talking now.
All right, the important holiday festival that Indonesian love to celebrate is, I can say, Eid festival. It's the festival that after, I can say, we have a full month of fasting, and then in this celebration, I can say, well, I can say it's celebration because it's like a reward after, especially a Muslim, when they do all the full month with fasting, is kind of like the reward. So I can say it's a celebration, and it's mostly like place. I think it's different every year, because we kind of see the first Ramadan, the first Ramadan day, and then just calculate it like the last just put it the plus 30 days, and then it will be like the Eid festival. So it's different every year, and then during this celebration, I can say people gather with their whole families, not only immediate family, but the big family, like the aunt, uncle, and cousin. They mostly celebrate this with Indonesian, as is special Indonesian dishes like popo, rendang, and stuffs like that. And then what I like about this Eid day is, because maybe because I can get additional pocket money from my uncle, my aunt, which is now, because I'm 21 years old, I don't get it anymore. But back then, I really like the Eid festival because I get more pocket money, and then I don't like it. I don't really like this Eid. Well, they have a lot of positive things and fun things to do together with the whole family, but sometimes I kind of get tired meeting many people at the same time, at one day, because sometimes I really don't know about this I really don't know about this uncle, and I have to meet them and greet them excitedly, for example, because I haven't met them in a year. Which
That's the end of your session.
okay.
Okay. I'm gonna give you the additional questions related to this. So what kinds of international celebrations do you know?
I can say in Japan there is a festival about a cherry blossom when they are blooming. They actually in Japan, I can say, I forget about the name, but when I went there and engaged with the Japanese and did this whole not a celebration, festival. Well, we just basically just a picnic, and kind of, I can say, we celebrated the cherry blossom blooming, I can say it. And it was very nice. My experience with them is very nice, because we stay in the near the, I forget the name of the river, and then we have a lot of food we can eat together, and then yeah, it was really fun.
Okay, thank you. So we're gonna finish this and having the last part of this session, that it is part 3. So in this part 3, you're gonna have your analytical discussion related to your previous part. I'm gonna give you several questions related. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, my question. How people celebrate public events?
Public events, I can say, for example, Independence Day. They based on observation, I can say, if we refer to Independence Day, for example, people like they first in the morning for students or someone who works for government, they have to do this ceremony to appreciate what the, I can say, what the Indonesian hero did for our country, right? And then after that, there's a lot of discount promos for this Independence Day. So most of, no, maybe people around me, so this is based on my observation, I can say, they go to mall or restaurants to redeem this voucher, these promos, because yeah, there is a day when a lot of company try to attract customers by Independence Day promos, for example. So that is why, and then, or maybe just stay at home for with family, because there will be like one, I can say, one holiday from government in this Independence Day. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think it is important to celebrate such events?
Yeah, it is important, because I can say, because most in this modern society, more people, I can say, a lot of people not really understand about the sacrifice that our ancestor, I can say, did to this country to get this independent, and then that is why celebrating it's just remind us that every sacrifice that our ancestors do, for example, Sukarno and Hatan's stuff, they try so hard to, yeah, even I know a lot of students that didn't know, I don't know, because my sister went to kind of like, I can say, not international but private school, so she kind of like about this knowledge about Indonesian history. That is why, to remind such a thing, I mean, like, she doesn't need to know that the ancestor story, but she have to understand that our ancestor did a lot of job to get this independence, to make you feel like a freedom in your own land. So I think it's important.
Okay, so should the event be prepared in advance?
I can say they always prepared in advance, since yeah, it's a big event in Indonesia, so they always prepare in advance. I mean, and it is important to prepare that in advance. For example, when I was in high school, because I went to public high school, we always and I was kind of like the um like someone who is in charge in the ceremony. So I know that my school always prepare in advance about this event, because it's very big event in the in Indonesia. So yeah, I think it's important to prepare in advance.
My last question. Which one do you prefer? Your individual holiday or national holiday?
I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Okay. Which one do you prefer? Your individual holiday or national holiday?
I can say, um maybe I like maybe there's like pros and cons between these two. So for individual holiday, well, when I put myself on holiday purposely, when there's like a hectic schedule, it would give me so much refreshment, I can say. And there's not a lot of people in the, for example, tourist attraction. Well, if it comes to public holiday, we should expect that there will be a lot of tourists in the places that we want to go. So but actually, because it's public holiday, so like my whole family, my whole immediate family will can easily get together, because we don't need to like prepare in advance, I can say, because it's a public holiday, so everyone must have this holiday. It's kind of like the mandatory for maybe company or school to give a holiday for every person, every members of the institution. So yeah, I guess I like it, maybe half and half. Not I'm not leaning to one of them, because there's pros and cons, I can say.
Thank you very much. That's the end of our speaking sessions, and hopefully that you're gonna get your satisfaction score.
Okay, thank you.
Good day. Well, I'm gonna begin with the first part that you're gonna have. This is how you have your current speaking session, especially for the test. So you couldn't expect that you have one topic only, because currently the topic is just so mixed. Starting from opinion, expressing from kinds of adjectives and characters, and also some kinds of absolute ideas like shoes, online shopping, something like that, clothes, something like that. So the switching topics that you're gonna have, you should prepare yourself enough to move forward from the previous question that you think that you didn't answer it correctly. And by how I see your speaking is, you are so nervous till you speak so fast, and I didn't get any points of your speaking. Questions, when it comes to first and second question, hopefully that you can, make yourself more relaxed, and then you're not gonna repeat your questions. For example, when I asked you about household chores, uh, you tell about your mom, and you tell about hygienic. You do repetitions a lot. Like, you have to maintain the length of your answer in your part one. Part one is a general topic. So in your general topic, you couldn't just say anything that comes to your head. I know you are so fruitful ideas. I mean, your ideas is just so gorgeous. Your ideas is so a lot in your head, but you have to maintain it. Why? Because later on you're gonna face another question, and in the end, when you find the same or the similar questions, you are just run out of ideas. That's what you have. Stable tone, you also have to have it. Stable tone, stable intonation. You know the differences between I speak earlier, I mean, when I gave you before this recording, right? You know how I have my speak, and also you know how the way I have my speed. And now I'm giving you a feedback. I also give you a different tone and different speed, right? Also, I move my hand gesture, I got my eye contact on you, and also I deliver your feedback based on each part. So this is what we call is flowing speaking.
Like make it more systematic.
Yes, that's right. So we don't chase what we call speed. No, you speak you speak a lot, but inside of it is just wishy-washy. We just consider it still 0. So why do you have to speak fast, but you just have empty content? Instead, speaking more coherent and cohesion with, I don't say slow speed, no, but more into systematic. When somebody speaks systematic, they will have their tone and they will know where they got their pause. When they know they have to get their stressing on something, and when they understood about what they are speaking, they tend to have their hand gesture, or even they have to increase or decrease the tone and the intonation. Regarding the fillers that you have, you say you say a, you say, that's the point. I think that's due to your nervousness. So being in front of the examiner couldn't be that nervous. For 1 or 2 minutes, you have to conquer your nervousness, but the rest of it, you couldn't. It seems that you are so hard to control it. And also your grammatical arrangement, it's not that good. When you would like to give the presence of the story, I mean a glimpse of stories, when you have to answer the questions, you also have to maintain it. So when you don't have enough grammar, just maintain it with basic grammar, but it has to be right. And many times you correct yourself. I know that you spoke it wrong and you want to make it right, but you have to understand that you couldn't repeat it when it comes to part 1. When it comes to part 2, when it comes to part 3, you also do the same. You remember that you did many times self-corrections, isn't also that good. Many times or over times aren't that good as well. So just let it be then. When you understood that you made a mistake in your speaking, let it be. Don't do it over times, because we also consider about your repeating answer like that. So when it comes to the content, part 1, you answer it, but you did it repetition, because I think the length of your speaking make yourself repeating your answer. But if you can, let's say, give 15 seconds answer in each questions, so you don't have to explain it so much. Remember, you still have another questions to be answered. So why should you give so many questions? The longer questions you have, the more critical you will be, and it puts yourself in danger, right? Because your brain, it's still thinking the other answers. Well, actually you have already answered a lot of things, but you have to present different answers while you are running out of your ideas. It's bad. So moving to part 2, again, nervousness. I guess you have long introduction, so you don't answer the last question when it finished. So when the time is up, it's around 2 minutes and 15. So I set the alarm around 2 minutes and 15, and you weren't able to answer the last question. That seems kind of unfortunate, I guess, because you did long in your introduction, like that. Basically, you answered all the the answers, but only the last one you didn't answer it. Moving to part 3. This is the problem. So when you didn't mention international information, it's kind of sad like that. You know that the first question to be asked is about how do people celebrate public events? Instead, you just give me the understandings of your current country without giving me an international information. So
this international information is like, yeah, I would like to know further about this. You mean by international information?
international information is just like when it comes to public events, is one of them is independence, you know, it's very common. But what about Halloween? What about wait a minute, festival? Would I remember about festival? It's Halloween, the common one. Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving. What is in Brazil? I forgot. Tomatoes. The name of Brazilian. I forgot the international festival from Brazil. Yang lempar tomat.
Oh yeah, I know it.
I forgot what's the name it in Brazil, in Brazilian language. So actually you have to give it first. International view first before you direct yourself into your country. Because the question is, how do people celebrate public events? So it is not always in your country, right? You have to see international view, how the people celebrate their public events. Thousands of people come to the street to celebrate. You have to give that kinds of view rather than giving your own. And also the rest of the questions is quite okay because you tell about independence, but sadly you just give it your own, just like main kandang aja. So hindari main kandang, kakak. If you can give international view, you have to give international view. Don't just do your own. Jadi apalagi analytical discussion ya, jadi pandangan luar atau pandangan yang akademis yang lebih formal itu lebih dibutuhkan, kakak. You are not having your part one anymore. So you couldn't just tell about your sister was so excited to commemorate that event gitu. Nggak bisa yang your own, nggak bisa kandangnya kakak gitu loh. When you knew that apparently Indonesian are quite lack of nationalism. I didn't hear you say nationalism. It's kind of sad, right? I mean, today's era, people, more and more young generation are lack of nationalism. They don't even celebrate the hilarious events of Independence Day. Well, to be honest, in the past, young generation were so excited to celebrate because we have many kinds of competitions, even in housings or in the alleys, in on the streets of housings, countrysides especially. They celebrate big events like competitions. They have like running competitions and other competitions. Panjat pinang in bahasa we have, that's kind of very identical for our Indonesian nationalism, right? I mean, you have to give that kinds of horizon, pandangan yang kayak gitu kak, yang harus kakak punya tuh. Jadi bukan kandang aja kayak gitu. Even you tell about your country, even you tell about your own event, tapi nggak bisa tuh kalau kakak cuman ngomongin di kandangnya kakak aja, di your surrounding aja itu nggak bisa kakak. You mention the name of a city, for example. You talk about Independence Day is very very amazing and marvelous when it comes to Jakarta as a capital city. Nah, ini aku mention loh, capital city, ya kan? Kenapa kok paling gede Independence Day itu adalah di Jakarta karena itu capital city. And also another development of Independence Day is in Jember. We have Jember Festival Carnival, and it's one of international events that held in Jember, East Java. Padahal dulu JFC itu nggak segede itu. Tapi sekarang JFC aja juga ikut di Independence Day loh dengan arakan-arakan yang seperti itu. So, how far do you know about your country? That's the thing. Gitu. Jadi setelah kakak ngasih internasional, ketika itu internasional, ya kakak turun ketika kakak mau spesifik ke jawaban kakak, ya kakak harus spesifik juga, tapi it doesn't mean kakak ada di kandang kakak gitu. That's the difference thing, gitu. The last thing is when it comes to a choice, you should still have to choose. You couldn't say half and a half. It's so slang. Ya kakak, bahasanya kakak itu sangat slang sih. Beyond everything, ya your language is just so standard. So you have to make yourself more academic in how the way you select your vocabularies. I think I have so many vocabularies mentioned earlier related to public events, commemorate or others. Namun mungkin itu ya yang kakak harus punya di vocab, and the way of choosing the answers. You can say in my view, in my perspective, as far as I'm concerned, the way how I see things, kayak hal-hal yang itu untuk IELTS itu kakak belum dapat. Just randomly answer aja ya dalam general speaking nih. So if you have your general IELTS test, mungkin aku akan oke ya dengan cara kakak. Tapi kalau untuk academic, I don't think 6.5 you will have. Around just 6 or 5.5 in how the way you answer the questions. Kayak gitu. So when it comes to preference, kakak tuh tetap harus milih. You still have to choose. But don't forget, you also have on the other hand, however, meanwhile, for example, if you ask me personally which one I prefer, whether it's a personal holiday or national holiday, I'm gonna choose the way how I see things. I will choose personal holidays. Personal holidays tend to be more relaxing and private, and also it's kind of refreshment after hectic schedules that I have. Currently I'm teaching private classes related to English, TOEFL, grammars, IELTS. So I put myself really in a very hustle-bustle activities. Commemorating or having self-satisfaction is number one for me, rather than celebrating national holiday. Meanwhile, national holiday is also essential part of my life since I was born in Indonesia. So nationalism comes to the first hand. Everybody celebrates national holiday, of course, including me, but we just have a different ways of celebrating. The more adulthood I think I have to understand how I have to celebrate personal holidays by probably delivering some messages like in Kartini's day. So I usually captured my mother as my reflections of Kartini, and I give some quotes that can be touched. That's how I value myself to have my nationalism. Nah, jadi kayak tetap ada transisi gitu loh, Kak.
Okay.
Ketika kakak itu mau, kakak tetap menjawab, bahasa kakak tetap pro sama individual. Tapi kakak kasih tuh on the other hand, meanwhile, tapi jangan memberatkan yang di bawah kakak. Yang di atas tetap, yang di atas ini tetap yang kakak pilih. Jadi bobot ide kakak itu harus tetap yang di personal holiday. Kalau kakak tadi lihat ya ide-ideku, aku tadi bilangnya gini, aku tuh sibuk banget sekarang. Terus currently aku ngajar bla 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 dan hasil aktivitasku tuh bener-bener hektik banget. Jadi aku harus punya self satisfaction dong. Nah, kayak gitu. Nah, jadi aku tuh kayak bener-bener memposisikan diriku, aku memilih si personal holiday ini kayak gitu. Nah, kalau kakak lihat ya, ide bawah aku adalah aku cuman ngomong ketika aku sekarang dewasa, aku tidak celebrate a national holiday seperti sebelumnya. Mungkin seperti Kartini Day, aku hanya memposting the pictures of my mothers dengan ada some quotes yang itu menyentuh. That's it. Bobotnya tetap jauh lebih berat yang ini. Tapi kakak juga tidak melupakan esensi kalau ada loh jawaban tentang national holiday. Jadi kakak bukan half and a half, kakak tetap 70-30, tetap 60-40 dengan jawaban preference itu. Kayak gitu kakak. Intinya bobotnya harus lebih enteng. So I think that's the feedback that I can give you. So hopefully that you can meet me after Maghrib around 6. I'm gonna inform you on a group about this. Okay. So this will also, if it is to the capacities of this storage is a lot, probably I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask your Gmail so I can share it from your Gmail, your G Drive. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Abila.
Yeah, thank you, Miss.
And I'm gonna meet you again later on. Bye bye.
Okay, bye bye.